If your paycheck comes from the federal government, you already have something that most people don't have: experience, reliability, and then knowledge that's in high demand. But the truth is, depending on one income stream, especially right now with the government shutdown, it'll keep you stuck, especially when things like this happens. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn your federal expertise into profitable side hustle without risking your federal career. If you followed my channel, you understand where I am right now. I took the DRP and the VERA, so I am currently in early retirement. And it is a wonderful experience. It is nerve-wracking, don't get me wrong, because creating your own income is different, especially if you've been relying for steady income for the last 25 years. The challenge is even that stability isn't as stable anymore. So this is something that I had to plan for. And that's why I'm doing this video to, maybe learn from some of the mistakes that I made and then build your own income. This way you can do it while you still have a W-2 job, benefit from having that security and building something on the side. Plus, if you have your own business, there is such a benefit with regards to taxes. So now, with regards to budget cuts, government shutdown, hiring freezes, retirement programs shifting, you really have to think about how we want to move forward. Now, this isn't about quitting your job. I just really want you to build options. I know you're frustrated. I've been there, and there is a way to capitalize. I hope this is a wake up call. So then that way you can start thinking about what you can do to build your future because you can. And what I'm realizing is even our retirement income, our pension isn't enough. So if you can start right now, you can truly build something that would last and then help you with moving forward. Now, first start with your skill set. Think about what you have in place that can be used as a consultant. You solve problems every day. Most of you are entrepreneurs, which means you actually build systems. You function as like a CEO of a project or of a program. You're a program manager. You can actually use those skills in the private sector, be a consultant. Now, think about what problems you solve every day in your job, something that AI can't replace. So if you are in a job like I was a data analyst, a strategic planner, my role is easily replaceable. But if you are in a role that is relationship building, leadership focused, human resources management, maybe those are things you can kind of capitalize on and see what you solve every day and then maybe function as a consultant. So, what do your coworkers always ask your help for? Now, if it's something that maybe you can create as a course or maybe as a coach, so that's something that you can kind of do as far as an example. If you are in HR, you can help somebody with resume writing or interview coaching. If you are in IT, you can look at cybersecurity consulting. I know right now with relying on solely government contracts, that's not the best way, but look at the private sector to see what you can do. You don't have to do it full time, but you can definitely offer your services. Now, if you're in healthcare, you can create your own wellness clinic, be a health coach, maybe even assist in compliance training, especially if you have management skills. Now, if you're an administrative role, perhaps you can maybe become a virtual assistant and actually you can even use ChatGPT to help you develop those. Once you know your strengths, the next step is matching them with a side hustle model. So now to get started, try not to overwhelm yourself. I know when I was looking into this was something I started looking into back in 2021. COVID was an eye opener because mandated to get the vaccine and not getting it possibly threatened with job loss made me think about what can I do that is not solely reliant on government. What I learned and the lesson I'm hoping to share with you is there are coaching services out there, but They can get expensive. And I would still suggest that if you have an idea, start your business, start your LLC. So then that way you can start really structuring your business. And then that way you can take advantage of the tax deductions that businesses have, but reach out to free resources that are available. There is the American Small Business Development Center. They're a nonprofit organization, and I will share that information and see how you can navigate and connect with a mentor. See if your business idea and help you develop your business plan. Have the mentor kind of guide you through the process. They're there to help you, and it doesn't cost you anything. That was the one thing. I was in a rush to build my skills, and I'm grateful because they ended up being business expenses, and I was able to expense them out. But the thing is, you eventually want to make a profit. So the best way to do it is get the mentorship that is available to you for free. And these people are kind-hearted people that just want to help. And this is something that they're passionate about. Now, step one is, who's your audience? What is your niche? Who do you want to help? So really craft that. The more specific you get, the easier it is to make sure that you're marketing to the right people. Now, with the age of remote work, what is your business model? There's so many different ways. Honestly, you don't have to have a brick and mortar. There's so many different ways to be able to deliver your service or your product. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a freelancer? Do you want to be a consultant? Do you want to teach? Do you want to create digital products? Do you want to lead a team? But sometimes it's just easier to start with you because as you get started, you're basically a one man show. You're everything. You're the operator, the marketer, the salesperson, you're the business admin, you're the bookkeeper. Until you start building that profit, you need to learn those skill sets. But the cool thing about being an entrepreneur is you get to learn what you're made of. And it is stressful, don't get me wrong. So make sure if you have a partner, get their support because it's going to take a lot of time away. And that's one thing that we'll talk about a little bit later. Now, also look at tools to make setup easy. There's so many tools out there right now with regards to if you want to build your website. There's Canva if you want to build your graphic design, your marketing material. There's Wix Studio. They can actually help you create your own website down to building a landing page, building a blog, whatever branding that you want to do. And if you're unsure of a certain skill set, you can hire. Go to Fiverr or Upwork and you can actually hire somebody to do certain things for you. So that way it saves you time. But sometimes it's better to do it yourself. Just follow, especially with the built-in AI system in Canva and Wix Studio. It's a lot easier to build yourself. Now, as you are marketing, what I'm learning is you have to connect with people, share and use different platforms for credibility. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, but start with one. If you are leaning more towards consulting format, maybe LinkedIn would be your platform instead of YouTube or Instagram. And then maybe LinkedIn would be your platform to connect with your audience. And then use YouTube to help build your credibility. As you're sharing your story, people connect with you because you're real, especially if you want to build trust. Now, the other thing is check the ethics rule. Don't use government equipment. There's federal guidelines to make sure that you don't do this in government time. This is the challenge when you're trying to find time because trying to build a side hustle while you have your full time job, it can be a lengthy process. I was working long hours. I was working my regular 9 to 5 job, and then I would work after. And then sometimes it'd be my weekends because I had to build a skill set that wasn't my normal. I went into the financial services industry because I kind of saw my job being replaced by AI, but also I became passionate about it to help people, especially like my mom. After she lost my dad, she doesn't have anything as far as life insurance. Everything is just tied into the house. So right now we're trying to navigate how that's going to work, but I just don't want people to fall in that same trap. And then as I'm learning more, not just about insurance, but all the different products that are available for retirement income planning. So that got me excited because then I'm able to help more people as they transition out of federal service. So as I mentioned with the goals with the federal guidelines, just make sure that you're in compliance with that because sometimes people will hate, especially if you're sharing your information in social media. I actually had somebody contact me and report me to OIG, but I just had the conversation with my supervisor and shared what was happening. So that one was resolved. But just stay mindful of your guidelines, especially when it comes to the lines between your business and federal service. Now, the other thing is set up your goal. What is your goal? And then try to target that consistently. So, whether it's money or whether it's building a skill set, just make progress. Now that I'm retired, I still have my same routine. I make sure that I'm up at 6:30. I spend time with God in the morning. I plan basically my week and then my day. That is kind of structured already. I make sure that I do my workouts. I make sure I stay connected with people at church and develop my own social network. Try not to pigeonhole myself into the remote worker. So I plug myself in with a team. I work with a group of agents. We're part of an agency. So doing the financial services, it's not a lone sport. So I plugged into a community. So make sure you start doing that. Determine what your goals are so it'll be easier for you to transition when it's time. Now, this is the last key thing, but the most important. And I encourage you to really maintain work life balance. As you're trying to build your business or even just something on the side, can get burned out. So you do your time blocking, incorporate time to unplug. In the morning, I like my Bible study and my devotionals before anything else. And then meeting starts at 9. So that gives me time to really think and plan my day. And then how I'm going to execute. What do I want to do? And then at the end of the day, when my honey comes home, we plan our walks. We do our thing. So then this way, I am not constantly in front of the computer. I still have to be mindful. The beautiful thing about having time freedom about retirement, and this is something I encourage you to look forward to, is you can actually structure that in. You don't have to ask anybody's permission to take a break, to go to lunch. You just do it. But make sure that you get back to work. And then also just start small. When you are starting your new side hustle and you determine what you want to do, as you research and start connecting with people and getting mentorship and developing your business plan, start small but get started. Don't do the analysis paralysis because you're not going to learn everything before you get started. The best way to learn is to just do it. And if you are doing something that is out of your comfort zone, like what I'm doing now, it's basically marketing and sales. And then also learning the different products, make sure I stay compliant and then continuing education. It's a lot of different things, but I stay connected to my why. I encourage you to do the same. Make sure that you focus on your health, time with family. And if you're a believer like me, faith. That is the foundation. Everything else will fall in line. And if you are a faith driven person like myself, pray and ask God for which direction He wants you to go. When I just did things on my own without really confirming that that's a direction He wants me to go, it cost me time, it cost me relationships, it was painful. But now that I'm aligned with what he's leading me to do, and there's different things that confirmed it, and now that I'm doing it, I am so much happier. I am able to help people, and it aligns with my purpose of serving. And it's not behind the screen, it's not on Teams, it is one on one or 2 to 1. It's families, couples, and then knowing that their grandchildren are protected, and then helping people realize that they can make a difference and make a change in their financial journey right now. So then that way they have something more in the future. Now, remember, your federal job is an amazing opportunity. It has given me so many different skills that I am so grateful for. But it was just a seed. What I loved about my job is the ability to serve. I got to serve teams, I got to serve leadership, I got to serve my peers, knowing that it was the overall mission of serving veterans that just made it amazing. And I miss it, but now that I'm doing something similar, it makes me happy because I get to do it on my own time. Now, I encourage you to get started, but also track your wins because as you're moving forward, when you line up your goals and then you create your business plan, just like project management, create your targets and milestones and give yourself a date. If you have your spouse or your partner, or even just a colleague or a mentor, make sure that you check in and then have accountability because it is overwhelming to get started. And sometimes you will, just like we do in federal service when we're starting a project, we kick it down the line and we never quite move forward. So I'm encouraging you to do that. Make sure that you stay accountable. If what I'm sharing with you is helpful, please subscribe and like the video and share it with somebody that is trying to determine what they want to do. All right. Make sure that you believe in yourself, that you have everything that you need. You have the skills, you have the structure, you have the discipline more than anybody. And then I'm encouraging you to take a step back, look at what you want to have for your future, and then see if you can get started in creating some of it now. Drop a comment with your federal role, and I'll reply with a side hustle idea that's tailored for you. Trust me, I've looked at a lot of them, and I might be able to help you at least point you in the right direction. Thank you for watching.